welcome to my channel. I will be making this number 2 Minnie Mouse cake. Start off with a 12-inch square cake. I pre-made a number 2 paper template stuck on with toothpicks to hold in place while cutting. Use a serrated knife to cut around the template. Pull back the extra cake from the sides. Use the extra to place on the top. Cut around that, and then you will have the number 2. You will then repeat this step for the top layer of the cake. Then spray each layer of cake with simple syrup in equal parts of sugar and water that is boiled. Place the bottom layer of cake on the board. Pipe dollops of buttercream on the corners of the cake, then go in and pipe along the edge of the cake with the buttercream, and this will hold all of your filling inside. With your filling in a bag, pipe along the inside of your buttercream border. With your offset spatula, go in and smooth out the filling to make it level. Place your top layer of cake on. I use a cake board to help guide. That way you don't end up breaking the top layer while placing it on. Pipe buttercream on the edge and smooth out with the offset spatula, and this will hold the little top piece on. Pipe some buttercream on top, and then with your offset spatula, smooth out the buttercream around the top and the sides, and this will be your crumb coat. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just holds in all of the crumbs. Once covered, you will then place the cake in the freezer for about 10 minutes until the frosting is firm to touch. Once your crumb coat is firm to touch, pipe a thicker layer of buttercream around the sides and the top of the cake. This will be your final coat, so make sure you have a thick enough layer that you won't see the crumb coat underneath. With your offset spatula, go in and smooth around the sides and the top. Now with your bench scraper, go around the sides of the cake to make the buttercream smooth and level. With your offset spatula, go around the top edge and smooth out to make it level. And then place the cake in the fridge until firm or overnight before you fondant. For the decorations, I used satinized gum paste. I colored that with a black, a rose, and a bright pink gel color. I used a Mickey Mouse cookie cutter for the head. For Minnie's bow, I used a heart cutter and a circle cutter. I cut out 2 hearts and 1 circle. I used a small paintbrush with a little bit of water to attach those together. Place both hearts on and use a fondant tool to put 3 indentions in each heart, and with a little bit more water on the paintbrush, put the circle on top, and you have the completed bow for Minnie. For the ears on top of the cake, I rolled out thicker gum paste, used skewers and place a little bit of water on to stick inside the gum paste. Make sure it is thick enough, that way you don't have the skewer go through the back. Do this for both ears and then set aside for them to dry nice and firm. For the bow, I have two 2-inch by 4.5-inch strips. Flip that over, brush a little bit of water on the back, fold them each in half, and then a little bit more water, brush on both the front and the back, fold that together in the middle, and then fold the two pieces in the back and pinch that together, and repeat for the other half of the bow. With an X-Acto knife, cut a little bit off of each end, brush a small amount of water on to hold them together. For the top piece of the bow, I have a 1 by 2.5-inch strip. Fold over the edges slightly to give a nice rounded edge on both sides, and then fold that in half slightly. With the paintbrush and a little bit of water, brush that onto the front of the bow, place the little strip on, and then flip the bow over with a little bit more water, brush that on the back of the bow to stick both of the end pieces together, and then set it aside to dry. Once your cake is cool and firm, put some Crisco and cornstarch on your surface so the fondant doesn't stick. Also, add a little bit of cornstarch to the front and back. I use my marshmallow fondant, but you can use any one you would like. Roll it out and rotate. Repeat this until you've reached the thickness you would like. I roll mine out to a little over an 1/8 inch thick, and then roll the fondant over the rolling pin, and once you've rolled all the fondant up, unroll it over top of the cake. I then use a pizza roller and cut the excess off, and then with the fondant smoother, smooth out the top until you have it completely smooth and all the air bubbles out. Then smooth the sides and the edges with your hands, working fast but gentle from the top to the bottom so you don't rip the fondant. Keep doing this until you have smoothed all the fondant around the cake. Once done, I use a pizza roller and an X-Acto knife to cut the excess off at the bottom of the cake, and this I did off camera. Once it's all covered in fondant, brush a little water around the bottom of the cake so the ribbon will stick. Then wrap the ribbon all the way around. Now it's time to decorate. I start by adding all of the top decorations, and don't put them on with water yet, so you can move them around until you have them where you want them. Also, off camera, I did add small white circles to the bow so it looks more like Minnie Mouse's bow. And I did use a fine tip paintbrush to paint the letters on for her name with a mixture of vodka and black gel coloring in the Disney font. Then brush a little water on the back of the decorations and start placing those on the sides of the cake. Once done with the sides, I added a little water to the backs of all the decorations on the top and finished it off with placing the ears on. here's the completed cake. I hope you enjoyed watching my video and don't forget to like and subscribe.